Good morning, students. Welcome to your English literature class. The topic for today's tutorial is The Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 2, lines 1 to 37. Before starting the session, let us discuss the objectives. By end of this video, you will be able to explain the meanings of difficult words according to context, tell some of the references that we have read in the text, and answer the related questions. Children, now open your Merchant of Venice textbook at page number 14. Act 1, Scene 2. Scene 2. Belmont, a hall in Portia's house. Enter Porshia and Nerissa. Lines 1 to 8. Portia. By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world. Children, note down the meanings of difficult words on your textbook with pen. Troth means faith. Aweary means tired. Children, from Venice, the scene now has been moved to Belmont, where Portia resides. Children, now look at the picture. Here Portia is feeling sad and distressed. She is depressed. She is expressing her feelings to her maid Nerissa. Here Portia says to Nerissa that her body is really tired of this great world. She says that she is sick of her existence on the earth. Nerissa, you would be sweet, madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. Abundance means a lot of. Children, here Nerissa replies to Portia that of course she would be tired as she has a lot of miseries as she has good fortunes. And yet for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. Aught means anything. Surfeit means to be supplied to excess or overfed. Nerissa further adds here that as per her observation, one who is rich is also sick and the one who is poor also starves. She further says that it seems that those who live in excess are as unhappy as those who starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. According to Nerissa, one should be in midway between poverty and riches. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer. Superfluity means man who lives wastefully through excess of luxuries. Children, a man who has too much wealth soon becomes grey-haired, but the one who has just enough wealth, he lives longer. Children, now underline the word superfluity. Children, it is personification. Personification is giving human traits to non-living objects like things, colors, qualities or ideas. Here superfluity is referred to as a person. Superfluity is personified as a man who lives life wastefully. Now children, let us read gist of these lines. In these lines, Portia says to Nerissa that her little body is tired of this great world. She is sick of her existence on the earth. Nerissa replies her that she would be tired since she has as many miseries as she has good fortunes. She says that people who have too much are just as sick as those who are ill and starving by having nothing with them. A man who has too much wealth soon becomes grey-haired, but one who has just enough wealth lives longer. Lines 9 to 10. Porshia. Good sentences and well pronounced. Nerissa. They would be better if well followed. Children. Sentences here means opinions. Pronounced means spoken. Children, Portia here says that Nerissa has a good opinion and that she has spoken well. To this, Nerissa replies that it would be better if they were well followed. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Portia says to Nerissa that she has a good opinion and she has spoken well. Nerissa replies that it would be better if her opinions were well followed. Lines 11 to 15, Portia. If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. Children, underline the word chapels, write down the meaning. Small churches that accommodate small number of worshippers. Children, now look at the picture. This is a small church that accommodates small number of worshippers. So, this is a chapel. Okay. Now, Portia in these lines says that if to do good is as easy as to know what is good, then chapels would have been great churches and poor men's houses would be royal palaces, princess' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. Divine means priest. Portia says that a priest who follows his own teachings is a good one. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. Portia remarks here that it is easy to preach than to practice. She says that she can tell 20 people what is good to follow, then to be one of the 20 to follow her own teachings. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Portia says to Nerissa that if it were as easy to do good as it is to know what is good, then small chapels would be great churches and poor men's cottages would be royal palaces. Portia remarks that a good priest follows his own teachings. She says that she can easily teach 20 what were good to be done than to be one of the 20 to follow her own teaching. Lines 16 to 22. Portia. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps over a cold decree. Devise means to make, decree means law. Portia says that the brain can tell the heart what to do, but the heat of temper overpowers such cold laws. Such a hare is madness the youth, to skip over the meshes of good counsel the cripple. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Here is an animal like a rabbit but bigger with longer ears and legs. Counsel means advice. Cripple means lame creature. Children, according to Portia, young people are like mad rabbits. They hop over the fences of good advice. Children, now underline, such hair is madness the youth. What is this, children? Children, this is a metaphor. A metaphor is a literary device when two words are compared using like or as. Example, such a hare is madness the youth. Here, madness of youth is compared to the hare who avoids a trap. So it is a metaphor. But this kind of reasoning is not going to help Portia to choose a husband. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Portia says that the brain can draw up laws for the body to follow, But the heat of desire jumps over such cold laws. The madness of youth will make one leap over the net of good advice, just as a hare avoids the trap. But this kind of logic is not the kind that will get Portia a husband. Lines 19 to 22. O me, the word choose. I may neither choose whom I would nor refuse, whom I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none? Curbed means trapped. Now Portia complains that her father has not given her the freedom to choose her life partner. She says to Nerissa that she can neither choose the one she likes nor refuse the one she dislikes because she is trapped by the will of her father who is dead. The word choose sounds strange to Portia. Portia asks Nerissa that is it not hard that she cannot choose the one she likes nor refuse the one she dislikes. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Portia says to Nerissa that the word choose seems strange to her. She says that she can neither choose the one she likes nor refuse the one she dislikes because she is bound by her father's will, who is dead. She again asks her if it is not a hard decision of her father. Lines 23 to 29. Nerissa, your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Virtuous means good person, holy means pious, good means divine. Nerissa says to Portia that her father was a pious man, and such good men have inspirations at their death. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these three chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning and chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly but one who shall rightly love. Hath means has, devised means planned, no doubt means sure. Nerissa further says that therefore he had planned lottery of caskets, that is, the suitor has to choose one of the casket from gold, silver, and lead. Nerissa says to Portia that he who chooses the right casket by correctly interpreting the inscription shall be considered most desirable suitor. One who makes correct choice will marry Portia. Nerissa has no doubt that Portia will be chosen correctly by a person whom she will truly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come? Nerissa asks Portia if she has any special love for any one of the princely suitors who have already come. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Nerissa says to Portia that her father was always pious and such good men have inspirations at their death. He had devised the lottery that was choice among the three caskets of gold, silver, and lead, in which the one who makes the correct choice will marry Portia. Nerissa has no doubt that Portia will be chosen correctly by a person whom she will truly love. Nerissa asks Portia if she has any special love for any one of the princely suitors who have already come. Lines 30 to 33. Portia, I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them. And according to my description, level at my affection. Pray means request, overname them means read their names, thou means you, level at means arrive at. Children, note down the meanings of difficult words on your textbook with pen. Portia, asks Nerissa to name the suitors and she will comment on them. She further adds that according to her comments, affection for suitors could be deduced. Nerissa. First, there is the Neapolitan Prince. Nerissa is saying to Porshia that the first suitor who has come to try his luck is the prince from Naples, that is the Neapolitan Prince. Children, look at the picture. He is the prince from Naples, the Neapolitan Prince. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Portia asks Nerissa to read out the names of the suitors and she will comment on them. She further adds that according to her comments, her love for suitors could be concluded. Nerissa says that first suitor is the prince from Naples. Lines 34 to 37. Portia. A. That's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts, that he can shew him himself. Children, note down the word meanings. Colt means a wild young horse. Doth means does. Appropriation means addition to his merits. Children, here Portia remarks that Neapolitan Prince or Prince of Naples is as good as a horse because he always talks of his horse. He considers it as his own merit to shoe a horse. I am much afeard, my lady, his mother played false with a smith. Afeard means afraid. Smith, a person whose job is to make and repair things made of iron. Children, now look at the picture. Here, a person is showing the horse. He is the blacksmith. Now, Portia fears that his mother must have had a love affair with a blacksmith. Children, now let us read the gist of these lines. Portia remarks that Prince of Naples is like a wild young horse. He does nothing but talk of his horse. He considers it as his own merit that he can shoe his own horse. Portia fears that his mother must have had a love affair with a blacksmith. Children, do the homework given in your SNAP homework. Thank you, children.